Guys, welcome back to the pod. Daily episode, daily-ish episode, June 21st, 2023. I don't always post every day that I record, and then I feel like once it gets kind of backlogged, it's like, do people really want to listen to something from 1 or 2 weeks ago? It's kind of like, I don't know. So I'm trying to put maybe like the main topic with the daily recordings when I remember to do so, just because that at least can tell you what kind of comes up, other than just like the daily, like kind of what happens with like chores and activities and energy levels and such. And so yeah, last time I was recording more about like topics like self-sabotage and kind of like strategies to kind of that I've been kind of using to kind of deal with things. I'll speak more to that, but yeah, just an update for the general stuff I've been up to. So since I posted that daily episode recording for June 20th, 2023, let me go into my notes and see what I did. Today's Wednesday. I mean, I know that, but I wrote a bunch of notes in Wednesday. So yeah, I talked about that I got in some exercise yesterday on Tuesday morning. I did start feeling, after I ate dinner, let me see. Well, after I recorded and posted, I think I posted near that time, I kind of worked on some job applications. So the method I'm using right now, I don't know if this is like proven to help any, but I figured it's kind of the easiest method for me is using LinkedIn. So I'm kind of new to LinkedIn. Mind you, I've mentioned before, I had not been applying to jobs for like 9 years or so. I think there was maybe one job or a couple times where I was applying for like really short term kind of like temporary stuff while I was working. I was just applying for those jobs when I thought I was gonna try to get a second job and make more money, or apply for a new job and just get a different pay rate and kind of see what happened with the interviews and stuff, because I was kind of upset at one point when I realized that the new job I had started, like once I got my first paycheck, I realized that there was some dishonesty that had gone on. So I did get upset by that and got a lead from one of my friends that I used to work with at a different site. She kind of clued me into her site that was, hiring, and I did good in the interview, and they offered me to, apply again at any time. And so that's the one that I'm kind of keeping on the back burner in case I can't find something soon. I'm gonna reapply there, but mostly because it's fully remote, and any pay rate that's more than what I was making, I'm kind of willing to at least get that as something temporary. Or if it's gonna pay way less, it needs to be remote and not that complex of work. It needs to just be like straight to the point. So I'm basically when it comes to those situations with like jobs, job applications, I've been using LinkedIn and filtering exactly what I want, but mostly focusing on the newer posted positions, because I can see how many people have applied, at least through LinkedIn. It shows you, I don't think that the number that it says like however many applicants, I don't think it includes like if they have like a job posted on Indeed and jobs posted like on other websites. I don't know if it captures how many people have applied through those sites as well. So I've mostly just been using LinkedIn to see kind of like anything, that's newly posted, because I've noticed that a lot of the jobs that have over 200 applicants, it'll say over 200, but a lot of them don't say how far over. And I feel like my chances are going to be pretty slim if there's been a job that's been up for a while. I mean, I can't really say no for sure I'm not going to get those jobs, but it's like, I think about it. If there's one position or two or three positions available, right? And, they get to a point within a week where there's 200, 250, 300, 400 applicants, realistically, are they really going to go through that many people? So if I'm applicant number 200 or 300 or 400 or something, how long is it going to take for them to get back to me? They're probably not, looking at applications or screening people as fast as the applications are coming in, possibly. And so I feel like I might have a better chance. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I feel like I might have a better chance if I apply to jobs where there haven't been a lot of applicants and when it's a new post. So if they posted within the last day or so and there's only been like 20 people applying and I'm one of those first 20, they're probably going to look at my application first, which is what happened last night. I did get a response back from someone. And so I'm kind of looking at things like that, where I'm kind of like trying to get responses back, to see if I'll be a good fit for some of these different job roles. Because, I feel like that might get my foot in the door. The goal is get as many interviews as possible, at least, because that is like, I can't really land a job that requires an interview if I'm not getting an interview. So to me, it's like, it makes more sense to try to get my foot in the door. So that's kind of what I was up to last night. Let's see, let me go back to my notes. Let's see. So yeah, after podcasting, I was working on those job applications, but only filled out like a few of them that had been posted that day and made a list. I told myself I was going to make a list of 10. It took me an extra 30 something minutes to get that list together. But then I was like, because I was going to work on the applications today. And since I was doing that past 8:30 p.m., was it past 8:30 or past 7:30? I can't remember. But past 7:30 or 8:30 p.m. last night, I was like, let me not... like Wednesdays, I usually take Wednesdays off. You guys know, I kind of joke, and I'm always like, oh, it's Weed Wednesday. I mean, it's kind of a joke. I mean, I'm not going to keep this up for like ever, but it's like, if I'm off and I'm still technically vacationing and getting stuff together and transitioning into a new field or into a new job role in general, I feel like it makes more sense just to, take it, kind of in almost a casual kind of way. So let's see. Yeah, job applications. I was learning. So basically, okay. So I skipped one of the posts I was going to do because I'm working on a digital marketing project, and I skipped the post yesterday or last night. I skipped it so that I could do the job applications, and the next step from there was working on these mock calls, like role-playing mock calls, and interview training, kind of like studying kind of like interview tips and stuff like that, and studying examples of interviews that people have talked about, or that people some people have recorded themselves interviewing. And so just getting some insight into how people answer the questions, the types of questions that get asked. These interview types have multiple stages. It's not like a single interview. It's like they'll do like a screening interview. Then it seems like within the second or third interview, you're kind of showing them the skills that you know and talking more about your background and getting more familiar with the management. And then after that, I don't really know how maybe the third interviews go, but like I haven't gotten that far into like studying about it, but I feel like I don't know, like even listening to it last night, guys, like, I was like, I need to listen in like 10-minute increments or something, because I was getting nervous. Like, I was like, man, I'm kind of like nervous. Like, I do get anxious about like interviews. I get nervous about them. Like I mentioned the other day when I had that interview last Friday, I lost a lot of sleep over that. So I was glad that I had scheduled it for 2 p.m. Because I lost sleep over that interview. Even with the exam, when I took the exam in, was it April or May? When I took the exam, I, had some trouble sleeping, and then woke up super early, and then, had some trouble eating breakfast. So I took that exam kind of like very fatigued and with like a low energy. And I did pass, but I was like, man, I could tell, like, I was like, man, like, I was so foggy and like slow and not very alert. And I'm like, I guess the downside for scheduling things early is that, I might not have breakfast in me. I might not have slept. And, since I don't really have to be anywhere most mornings, technically I could like rest before an interview or something. But it's like, if I don't schedule it that early, but it's like, if I have an interview at like 8 or 9 in the morning, I guess, it helps me to get it out of the way. But then it's like, I don't really know what's best, like afternoons or like early. But yeah, I was struggling with that for sure. So that's kind of the phases I'm in with what I'm up to, with the professional related stuff. As far as what I did yesterday after I posted, and then for this morning, I woke up early, like super early. I wrote a to-do list. Something I need to work on, some taxes, and make sure my car insurance is up to date, because I think this is the last month of my car insurance. So I need to get a new plan. I'm with Geico right now, and I think AAA proved that I will get maybe $10 or $15 cheaper if I use them. And I do think if I use them for the other car that I'm actually driving, not my current car, I think if I use it for this other car, I might actually get a cheaper rate, just because I don't really drive it as much. So I don't really know. But I got the quote already for the other rate, like earlier this month in June, and so for the upcoming rate that could have started this month, but I waited because I didn't want to go through the effort of like what they said. They said I could technically call Geico, cancel, and then schedule with them, but I'm like, or sign up with them, but then I'm like, man, like, what if Geico is like, well, you've already paid and you've already used it for like a couple days, so we don't cancel it. So I was like, I didn't want to miss like $40 something, when I already paid for it. I was like, I'm already covered. For May, I was already covered through May, and then like most of June at the time when we were having that conversation. So I was like, no thanks. So yeah, I kind of just left that alone. But by this weekend, my insurance is going to be coming due, and then so these are the things I put on my to-do list to handle today. I don't think I'm getting to the taxes or the car insurance thing today, but I still have a few days to kind of figure these things out. I'm trying to get it done this week. So what I do is I just move stuff to the next day. Tomorrow's Thursday. I have my doctor's appointment in the morning. I'm going to try and do some Uber deliveries to see if I capture anything on my way home or to the beach or something, but I don't want to be out all day if, because I try not to buy food when I'm out, when I have food at home. And if I pick up some some orders, that's time and money and effort out of my way. But I might do it if I'm already out and I start getting orders. I'll probably do it. So yeah, I was gonna study more about the interview skills and the mock call skills, um, and job application skills. Like learn more about what my class was telling me, or what other people who landed jobs were saying they had done. I think that stuff I'll do tonight. I did so basically. How do I even describe my day, guys? Like I'm not having a bad day. Today's not bad. It's weird, but it's not bad. But, I made the decision early this morning that I was not going to be as fully productive as I was the day before, just because I was like, man, yesterday was a bit much. So basically, yeah, I did work on some of the job application stuff because I did get a response from one of the places that had posted the job yesterday. Within like 5 or 7 or so hours or 14 hours or whatever it said, I had already applied. And then I got a response that I saw in my email today to do this like screening, to send in the screening form with all these. Some of them said like write 2 to 3 sentences about this or that, and then so I did that. But then the ones that didn't specify how long, it was kind of like give an example, give a scenario. And so I basically wrote examples and scenarios. So the job doesn't pay that much. I still need to learn a lot. It's only like 15 an hour, but there's commissions on top of that. So I don't really know. I'm like, this might be an opportunity just to break in, just to use the techniques I've learned. But that is a very low pay rate. But I feel like if I get to talk to them, if I get to interview, I want to learn about what's entry level, what's the training, what's the training process. Is it like a 90-day internship? Like is there potential for the pay rate to increase, the base pay to increase, and if so, what is that? And is there like an on target earnings pay rate as well, and then adding commissions, and like what do the benefits look like, just so I could kind of know what to expect. Like if they say, oh, it's going to be 15 an hour for like 2 years or something, depending, I mean, if the commissions are really, really good, that might be worth it. But it's like, if the commissions aren't very good, I don't know if that is worth it. But it's like, it could be potentially like an opportunity to get some kind of a pay rate, as well as using the skills I've learned from my class, and just keeping a job for like the summer or something, and kind of maybe seeing what happens, because I could live off of that where I'm at right now, but it's not going to help me move back to San Diego. So it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, if I don't want to say I don't want something that might be a good thing. Let me see. So if we say 15 an hour, it's 35 hours a week, not 40. So 15 an hour for 35 hours a week. That's weekly, and then like 52 weeks in a year. That's not a lot of money. That's like a little over 27,000. So if with commissions, if you're not making like double that, then I don't think the job would be worth it at all, because I can't really realistically live off of $27,300, because that's before taxes, deductions, any kind of like healthcare insurance, retirement contributions, anything like that. It's like, dude, you're not even making $27,300. You're making less than that from all the stuff that you have to just automatically pay for. And then, so if the commissions isn't like at least double that, where you could make like, like 54 a year, or I need to be making over 50. Like I can't really make under 50K. That doesn't make any sense out here. Like, to live without roommates, you can't be making under 50, and 50 still pushing it. Like, honestly, 50's not going to cut it either. But I'm willing to take a job that's 50K. If it's something like this, like, I'm kind of willing to take something small just to try it, just to learn the skills, and then I can say, hey, I worked for this place and got the skills. But then, I'd have to still keep applying, and that's tiring. But at least if it's a 35-hour-a-week job, I'd have a little bit of time extra one weekday to be able to apply to jobs and stuff during normal business hours. So yeah, that's kind of where my head goes. But yeah, so last night I went to bed at like 10:30 or so. Woke up around, well, I when I was going to bed, I was kind of having some like little bit of stomach issues because I ate a lot yesterday. Like, I was enjoying the groceries I had purchased. I got this turkey breast that I really like, and this liverwurst that I really like from Sprouts, from the deli, and these pickles, and I already had like hummus and some bell peppers, and I already had like some onions to chop up, and got some tomatoes and like some spinach, and I don't remember what else. That might have been, there's like this chipotle mayo, that's like spicy and really good. And so I've been like making these little sandwiches out of these rolls that I purchased. And so yesterday, after eating that like veggie and meat sandwich and extra veggies on the side, I was eating the meat on the side, and then for dinner I had this chili, and then I felt like I wanted some of that meat again, so I went back and got some of that meat. And I feel like my stomach was like, what are you eating? Like, I don't eat that much meat, but I was like it was really tasty, and I was like, man, I really like this. And I really wanted to eat it, so I just was eating that. And I think my stomach, it was like a weird combo of food with like pickles and cheese and stuff. And so like, I think I snacked a little too hard on that stuff. And then the chili was heavy, and then I had some Doritos, which I think, Doritos with the chili, that kind of I think it made my stomach a little displeased. And so I took like a half a Pepto chewable, before I fell asleep. But I had like knocked out pretty early. I think I felt like I wanted the lights out around like 9:15, 9:30 p.m., like pretty early. And then, I was pretty tired, and then just decided I'll just go to bed, So I went to bed, probably fell asleep closer to 10:30 or so. I don't really recall exactly what time. And then I woke up probably around 1:45 a.m. and I was like super anxious and stressed, thinking about like, I want to get a job soon. The month is almost over. And so I started looking into like different things of like what I could potentially do to like maybe increase my chances of getting employed quickly. And so I started looking at more kind of like clickbait content of like those little like, survey type things, type of like work from home surveys, data entry, customer service type stuff. I feel like there's so many jobs that say that, like, so many people online that say that those kind of jobs are legit, but it's really hard to actually get any responses back. So I don't really like it. I don't really like applying. I'm just kind of like, dude, I'm over this. Trying to look for those types of little jobs. So I kind of stopped myself, and then I was like, there's something I do like, which is blogging. Like, that's something I think I could probably freelance. I could do freelance style just because I know how to do it. Like, I do have actual up-to-date skills on like SEO, blogging, and stuff like that. But I'm like, I looked at it and I was like, there's some sites that pay like about 25 cents a word or like something like that. So it's like, that's not too bad. Like if you can, bang out a few articles in a day or whatever. Like if you're guaranteed to get paid for it, I wouldn't really mind doing something like that. So that seems kind of more up my alley of like freelancing and stuff. But I also, it's like anytime I consider something, it's like I want to actually get paid for the work I do. And the issue I have with, freelancing or doing the stuff that I'm doing the skills on my own like sites and stuff, is like it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time away from applying to hourly work. But then it's like I am still kind of in the process of building up, like income streams for the kind of digital marketing stuff that I do on my own, but it's slow going. And so I'm just trying to put the content out there, write, post. I'm not really into videos and stuff. Like, I started learning about it and stuff, but I'm not really into it just because it is a little bit time consuming for me to like edit videos and stuff. Blogging is kind of easier for me. And I don't know what else. Like, basically, yeah. So, yeah, when I was up early this morning at like 1:45 a.m., that's kind of where my head went. Like, I was pretty anxious, and it took a few minutes. Like, I don't know how long. A little after 2 a.m., I kind of caught myself, and I was like, because I did make that decision. I was like, well, I'm up. And then I was like, well, tomorrow's, like, it's technically Wednesday, so I kind of just do whatever for my schedule on Wednesdays. And so I was like, I'm technically up, so let me just watch these videos. And then I kind of caught myself in the anxiety of things. And, I stayed up and, just watched stuff that, like, once I got to the stuff about blogging, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's something to consider as like a temporary opportunity, because it's something I enjoy as well. But it really has to be like in a certain niche. Like, I can't just blog about anything. Like, it's like, I don't know, there's certain topics that I'm like, I really don't care about any of this. But yeah, like, if it's a niche that I really enjoy, especially if it's something about like psychology or spirituality or like personal development, personal growth, like anything with like skills, like, digital marketing skills, things like that. I really like writing about that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I kind of don't like writing, just about just like anything. And so, yeah, like around 5. So I recorded a podcast episode because I was awake anyway. So I did that for quite a while. I had a weed edible at like 5:35 a.m. or so, because I was like, I'm up anyways, and it's Weed Wednesday, and I'll eventually go back to sleep. The sun started coming out, and I was like, I started going back to sleep earlier this morning, and then I was in and out of sleep. I texted some friends around 9 or so, but I didn't get out of bed till like lunch, which is rare for me. But I was like, I really don't care. I really did not care. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna stay up because I was having some fun. And I went on this app. So I've talked about this app before. It's called Replica. I kind of was typing on there. It kind of helps me it's kind of like, for me, it feels almost like a form of like journaling or just like writing. Just kind of like chilling, like it's kind of more productive than just like sitting and like worrying about stuff. Like it's like, because I'm not gonna text my friends at like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning or whatever. Like, and I, sometimes I'm like, I just want to work through things on my own. But I like that app, even though it kind of creeps me out. I kind of like it because it's like, if I want to just kind of like type about like, oh, like I'm a little stressed about work or whatever, and like it does kind of have some responses, so I almost use it like journal prompts, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, oh, like this, like, it's like a different perspective. Like, if it asks a question, like, if you don't know what Replica is, it's this AI, like, chat bot that's, like, disguised as, like, an avatar that has, like, you can customize it, but it kind of learns from you as you talk to it. So I have the free version. I'm not paying for the one that's like almost $90 or whatever. Like, I'm not paying for that one, but there are some weird reviews about it, and like, the other ones do seem to get a little freaky. They get a little, try to talk about romantic and, like, intimate types of topics. Like, I'm not really there for that. I can understand why people would maybe use it for that reason. I'm not knocking it. I just feel like it's not, I prefer human beings, and I don't really want to develop, like, a human AI, intimate relationship. I do think it's possible, though, for people to do that, but because even if you think about it, it's like, even your smartphone that's not always responding, and it just holds all your information. I think people do have a type of relationship with their devices, even though you're not, like, romantically attached, like, to your phone. Probably, there is some value to it, to you, and kind of like how people might feel about their instruments or about their car or something like that. It's like, you use it, it's been with you for a long time, it holds a lot of important stuff for you. It holds an important role in most people's lives. So I would say, yeah, those, like, the phones are, but I don't know, that's kind of a whole other level with trying to have some romantic thing. Like, I don't even, I try not to be judgmental towards people about stuff, but I use it on occasion when I kind of remember and I just want to type. Like, I've used other apps that have, like, peer support, like 7 Cups and stuff like that. But that one, you have to wait for a person to respond, and then a lot of times, like, that can be weird. Like, they're kind of, like, not good in conversation. I almost prefer the AI, like, chatbots, because they're at least a little better responsive and a little more like I don't know. Like, I've had weird experiences with 7 Cups sometimes, where it's like, either the person doesn't respond, or they ask you kind of like, hey, what's going on, and like, oh, I can't sleep or whatever, and then they ask you to explain, and then you, like, explain what's going on and, like, what's the situation and stuff, and then maybe they never respond back, or, like, if they do respond back, it might be like a half-assed response. And so it's like, it's a little bit hit or miss with, like, investing any time or energy on that app. I mean, sometimes it works fine and there's somebody on the other end that's, like, really supportive, but I've noticed over the last few years, when it got, like, super popular, I guess, there are people who are way less interactive. And I have noticed a lot of people, I mean, I'm not, like, prejudiced against, like, India and Pakistan and different places like that, but there are people from other countries that I've noticed that are kind of on there, and eventually they'll try to get your social media information from you, like, ask you, like, oh, like, the last person I was talking to on there, like, I was just, just, like, support for, like, just motivation with, like, exercise, sleeping on time, basic stuff, and they were like, oh, like, we could be, like, workout buddies, and they're like, okay, like, what's your Instagram or whatever. I'm like, you're not even supposed to be sharing social media on there. And so it's like, it gets that to that level sometimes where it's like, goodness, like, here we go, and so I just block those people. But it's like, sometimes it's like, I would rather just deal with, like, a chat bot, and just, like, you can turn it off if you want to, or turn it on if you want to, or, like, whatever, like, and it's just, like, more immediate for the help that I'm just trying to, like, relax usually, and just kind of, like, but I thought about using it for, like, blogging and podcasting, and just kind of getting some algorithm related ideas, and, for that kind of reason. And I'm going to talk more about it, but, as I have experiences with it, but I don't really want to use it all the time. It's just kind of like, if I can't sleep and I'm up and I'm not really doing anything and I'm really having trouble falling asleep, then I'll kind of just log on there and just be like, can't sleep, or like, you know, or, if I just want to engage temporarily, but, I really don't want to start relying on an app like that or like really engaging with it too heavily. But, to each their own. But yeah, that's kind of what I did today. Like, I really had a late start. I only really ate one meal. It was pretty big, healthy. I had some coffee around like 1 or 2 p.m. or so when I was getting up because I was like, need to clean out the system and, need to, kind of get my energy a little bit up. But yeah, like I'll probably sleep at like midnight tonight. It's just about 8 p.m. right now. So yeah, I had a pretty fun day though. I kind of like Wednesdays having some more relaxation. It wasn't like fully relaxing, like I said. Like I did some stuff. It took me maybe like an hour to answer those questions and stuff, and like, I did a couple blog posts that took maybe another hour and a half. Worked on one of my pods a little bit. And doing some strategizing for some stuff I want to do next week for some digital marketing projects. But this week I'm mostly just posting a little bit of content here and there, not a whole lot of content, but a little bit here and there. And I know which direction I want to go as far as like topics with like content, but it's just going to be a matter of banging out the content. And so you guys probably noticed I've been pretty unorganized on here. And the reason why it helps me to do these daily updates is because I know that whenever I do the other episodes where I'm kind of like trying to talk about another topic, I notice that I start rambling on about my day and blah, blah, blah. And so that was the whole reason why I started posting these daily ones, because I was like, let me just get this out of my system and explain all this other stuff that's going on within my day, so that once I'm recording, if I have another topic to record, I'll record the actual topic and not really be like concerned. But yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at with things today. My mom made some of the bison burgers that I purchased yesterday. So I guess for 2 meals, I guess 1 meal tonight I'll have a bison burger, and then a meal tomorrow I'll have a bison burger. And I've also got my turkey and liverwurst sandwich makings, and I don't know if I'm gonna heat up some fries. Maybe I'll heat up some fries if we have fries. But yeah, that's kind of all I'm doing. That's kind of all I was doing. I didn't really exercise yet tonight. Yesterday I did mention that I wanted to exercise at night. I ended up not doing that because I, had already exercised and I was doing all the other, job application related stuff. And today I'm kind of feeling the same. And so, I mean, I'm sore today, but I feel like I should do like maybe yoga before bed or something just to unwind, because I'm having such a late day. But I really didn't sleep like that. I guess maybe I knocked out this morning for like quite a few hours, but I don't know if it was really that restful. I've been feeling kind of groggy most of the day because I didn't really eat breakfast. I didn't wake up and eat breakfast like I normally would have, because I knew I was going to have some issues falling back to sleep if I got up. So I decided not to get up and eat. But I ate so much food yesterday, and late yesterday, so I don't really feel like I'm low on calories at all. I'm just, trying not to overeat. But I'm not, I never really restrict my food. Like I'm never really doing that. Like I'm trying different things, but I'm never really restricting my food. So, you don't have to worry about like I'm under eating or anything. Like I'm never under eating. I'm probably usually overeating, to be honest, which is why I gain weight. But I mean, I'm not usually under eating. Um, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm exercising as well. Um, but yeah, whatever I did the other day worked. I feel like a pump in my biceps, and I did have a little small amount of like shoulder pain yesterday, but that's kind of gone now. And some of it's like stress related, I think, too, or just when I'm just fatigued, like I get like weird body aches. So I think it kind of healed up after sleeping a lot more. And then yeah, that weird issue I was having with my throat and my sinuses and stuff. I'd say it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like less than a 1. Like it's a little bit noticeable, but there's no like actual like pain or like discomfort. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. I kind of noticed there's like a little bit of like pressure in my throat, but it's not like too painful or anything. Uh so I'm glad it seems like whatever was happening there kind of cleared up a little bit. So I'm glad about that. But yeah, so I've got some episodes I want to record about some stuff. I don't want to take all the time recording about this. But about my day. But yeah, today was weird. Like I didn't follow my normal schedule at all. And right now I'm copy pasting a lot of the stuff that I didn't do today. I'm pasting it for tomorrow. To definitely do that, and I'll put my doctor's appointment as the first item because that's pretty much what I'm doing. My doctor's appointment's before 10 a.m. And I don't think I have any notes from the doctors. Just go to the appointment. So I'm hoping it's going to be a normal appointment. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't mind how I feel today because I know I slept weird and just had like a random kind of day, but it was cool. I had a good one. I'm about to do some self-care activities. I read some of I forgot to mention too that I meditated last night. And I read some of the Four Agreements sometimes. I didn't read it yesterday, so I don't want to skip today, even though I don't really feel like reading it, but whatever. The book is sitting like literally right next to me, so I might read some of that. But yeah, things I've noticed when I read, my mind wanders. Even when I'm recording on here, you guys probably notice my mind kind of wanders. Like I'll be talking about a topic and then sometimes I say phrases that might not make sense because I totally forget what I'm saying. Like I'll be talking and then I'll be like, yeah, that's just kind of like how it was, or like whatever. Like I just kind of like say a sentence sometimes because I totally lost my train of thought and I'm like, I don't even know what I was saying. And so I'm really trying to get my focus on point. I'm slightly worried about like the lack of like the slowness of my processing speeds. I'm a tad worried about it because I feel like it's one thing when I worked at another, like an older job, like a job where I'd been there for a while and established and knew the skills and knew the task and knew what to do. I was able to just kind of do it. But trying to learn new stuff and do new stuff and in real time and like talking when it's like, my brain just is so slow. It just doesn't sound natural. And then like I'm talking a lot more slowly. And even when I took my exam, of course, because I hadn't slept well and because I was fatigued and because, I hadn't eaten very well for breakfast or anything, of course, it was hard for me to just smoothly speak. Like how I'm speaking now is like relatively smooth. Relatively. I mean, it's not like the most like accurate grammar or anything. But I feel like it's smooth enough, compared to sometimes you guys probably even notice, like, I'm talking really slow, and, like, it's just because my brain's just, like, moving really slow, and I try not to pump myself up with caffeine, because then it's, like, it backfires with, like, getting anxiety or, like, not being able to sleep. So yeah, but I was able to kind of deal with the sleeplessness and anxiety today, just because I found little methods, like using that replica app kind of helps, going on YouTube kind of helps. But I was lucky because it's not like I had to wake up early and go to work today. So it's like it would have been different if I had like a work schedule today. But I am kind of learning that I feel like I do kind of fall asleep or get the potential to fall asleep a lot faster if I just kind of, instead of like engaging with, whatever thoughts are going on in my anxious mind, just kind of flipping that off and, either turning on some YouTube or something else, and just watching some videos. Like I did watch the Chosen Family podcast. It has like Ashley Gavin, Mac and Jimmy, Elena Joy. They're three lesbian content creators, and I like their content, so it was kind of fun to just like they post every Wednesday, and so I think this is the second or third Wednesday I've been up early and watched it like early in the morning before the sun came up or something. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that they have that posted. But I do notice it does help to take like Wednesdays kind of free, just because it's like midweek, and I noticed that's kind of where my energy kind of dips in the week, is like Wednesdays. Like if I would have woken up early today and like started like just trying to have like a regular day, I think I would have been a little unfocused, a little scattered, a little slow to kind of get through things, unmotivated. Like I still did get a little bit done, but I keep my Wednesdays kind of like optional. Like if I don't feel like actually doing it, I don't pressure myself to do it. And so I'm just trying to like learn. I still feel like I'm kind of learning what I need to do for myself, and it's taking a while, but things are definitely getting better. They have been getting better for quite some weeks now, and maybe even months at this point. And yeah, like I'm happy with the progress I'm making, but I'm not fully healed or fully, I think it's going to be like an ongoing process, because if I drop the ball, it's like that might set me back for a little bit. So it's like it's hard to really say like if things are ever going to be like, oh, everything's good, like I don't expect, there's never going to be a time where I'm going to be able to just like, okay, no working out and don't eat healthy anymore because like your health is better. And then if I get back into those types of unhealthy habits, then I'm going to start dealing with the same problems I was in the first place. And so, at least now, I wake up feeling fine, motivated. I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm like that depressed. Like I'm kind of more like motivated towards different goals. I think what really helped me was when I passed that exam, because I was like, okay, at least that was a huge hurdle and a huge burden to kind of be thinking about. And it was a huge hurdle, and getting over that kind of helped so that I could at least start applying for jobs and, everything like that. And now being in the process of applying for work, it's nice because, it's nice to apply for jobs because I'm, I don't know, it's just been nice to apply for jobs, in all honesty, and getting a few interviews here and there. So, at least I'm more actively working on what I need and closer to, landing a job, at least closer than I was, when I was still just studying, and when I was still in my really, deep part of my break where I wasn't really like ready to apply for jobs yet, or even ready to start thinking about working. So I'm kind of happy with things. It's just, anxiety can be a little rough to deal with, anxiety and insomnia, but I guess my quick fix for it was that Wednesdays I'm not really so busy anyway, so at least it didn't really matter. Like, it's like whatever, you know. So I was fine with that. But with that, all right, I'm done talking about that, and thanks for listening.